Hey everyone, today we have an awesome interview with Ashley from USC. We cover a ton of ground in this interview, so be sure to use the timestamps in the description box below. Let's get started.
Hey Ashley, can you tell us what school you go to and what year you are?
Yes, so I go to USC and I'm a freshman, so
Can you,
class of 23.
what are you planning on majoring in?
So I'm an econ major and I also have a minor in computer programming and I'm going to declare one in marketing.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your high school experience was like and how that led you to USC?
Yeah, so let's see. I loved high school. I feel like I was pretty involved. I love the spirit of high school, so that was a big part of my experience and kind of one of the main reasons that I did lean towards USC in general is because of the big spirit that they had. I was involved in FBLA where I kind of found my passion for marketing and business in general, so that's why I wanted to choose econ. I was also involved in NHS, was a pretty big part of my life, so I knew I wanted a school with a strong community, a place where I could do service and kind of give back to the community. Um, yeah, that's about it.
So it sounds like having a large community and like a tight community was really important to you.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted, I think a big thing for me was just having a school where I could have the academic resources I needed, but also just have like the strong community feeling, feel like I belonged in a place and I wasn't just going to classes every day with nothing else going on. So that was a big part of my decision.
So I guess we're going to shift into academics.
Okay.
So what classes have you been taking so far?
Okay, so to start off, so I'm in a program. It's an honors program in the School of Arts and Sciences, and it's basically it's called Thematic Option. It's like an interdisciplinary program. So it's kind of like a GE alternative. So you have to take a few GEs as part of the required freshman courses. And then you get out of some GEs and you take these basically interdisciplinary courses instead. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically instead of subjects, so like it's not just philosophy or politics, but it's like a theme. So the first one that everyone takes is cultures and values. So you have like that theme, then each professor chooses kind of their own theme. So I've taken I had two classes freshman year. It also takes care of your writing GEs. So I had a writing course first semester and a thematic option like core class, which is basically cultures and values GE. And then I took another writing course this semester. And then I'm an econ major, so I've taken 3 econ courses so far. I've taken intro to micro and macro as well as econ stats. And then I declared a minor in computer programming, so I've taken a class in that. And then some GEs, I've taken a climate change class, which is really interesting. It's like a mixture of history and environmental science. So there are 2 professors. So that was one of my GEs. And then another GE I took was for my arts credit. And because USC has a big film school, I took basically a television class where we watch TV and you discuss how different television writers kind of foster social change through the scripts, which is really interesting.
Wow.
Did Steven Spielberg go to USC? Is that a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, the film school is huge, which is something I'll probably talk about more later on. But because it's so big, a lot of people get involved in film, even though I had no interest coming into USC. But it's really interesting just to take a course there and kind of learn from these amazing professors who are really high in their fields.
Dang.
Yeah, for sure. And for some of these classes that you mentioned, what does the size of these classes range?
So I think the average size is around 30 people per class, 30 to 40 maybe. So most classes are pretty small. A lot of them have discussion sections too. So my climate change class is like 30 people and it has 2 discussion sessions of like 15. So that's really nice. And you have a TA, you get one-on-one attention a lot. My econ classes are the largest, probably with around 100 students in the lecture hall. But that's only one class a semester. Most of them are around 30. My writing classes, and for my program, and I think for writing in general, they're usually about 15 people. So like I sit around the conference table with the professor, so you get a lot of attention with the professors, a lot of tutorials too, which are mandatory. So that helped a lot.
And you mentioned that your GE program is like thematic. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's called Thematic Option. It's basically just a program where it's a lot like AP Lit, so I took that senior year, and I really enjoyed like just the kind of cross discussions that I had around a bunch of different fields. So that's what interested me in it. It's a lot of reading and writing. It's they have field trips, so I got to go on field trips to like the Getty Museum, and they have one camping trip where you go and get to like see the stars and these big telescopes and stuff. It's really cool. But that one is like an alternative for GEs.
Is it popular? Do a lot of people choose to do that?
Yeah, it's pretty popular. So there's an application process. I think right after you get accepted into USC, you can apply for it, or maybe before applications come out. But like my roommate was interested in it, but she didn't know to apply, and she applied later, and she still got in. So like they accept it until you go there, basically. And I think there are maybe 1,000 freshmen in it. So it's pretty big. I think there's about 5,000 freshmen at USC. So it's pretty popular.
Like in some of your specific classes, you mentioned that you have a lot of one-on-one support or interaction with your professors. So how are your professors like? You know, are they leaders or experts in their field? And what did they kind of bring to the table aside from just the lecture that they're talking about?
Yeah, my professors are super helpful. I've actually had really good luck so far. I haven't really had any that I've disliked. Let's see, I'm trying to think through each one specifically. So my climate change professors I love. They're probably my favorite ones I've had so far. So one of them's a history professor, so he's involved in a lot of research. He does a lot of work with history in China, so it's kind of his expertise. So he does a lot of research in that area, but he also does a lot in climate change research. So he's part of different movements, and he's very involved in kind of advocating for that. So he wanted to teach the history of it. My other climate change professor, who's the environmental one, she's very involved in, she has a PhD, very involved in climate change research. She's a climate scientist, worked in physics, chemistry, so she's very well-rounded. Let's see. My film teacher, she's been involved writing multiple scripts for television shows. So she's had a lot of hands-on experience in the field. All of the film teachers are really very qualified. A lot of my econ professors all have had jobs working in some sort of economics field before. My stats professor worked in analysis, like data analysis, I believe. And a lot of my TO professors do like their own research and have worked like writing a lot of articles and publishing their findings.
Do you talk to your professors a lot?
Yeah, so for my writing professors, we have mandatory like tutorials every few weeks, usually before an assignment's due. So I think all of the writing departments have that requirement. So that gives you a really good connection. It's easy to talk to them. Most of them they all have office hours. Usually they're very easy to go to. Because the class sizes are pretty small, usually you can always find a time to meet with them. And they're always very helpful. Like I know some professors, if you just like reach out to them and ask to get a cup of coffee and like discuss some sort of research opportunity or something you're confused about, they're always really eager to help the students out, which I've found. So that's really helpful.
Have you ever talked with a professor about something that's non-class related?
Yeah, so my writing professor first semester, she was really sweet and we like got along really well. So we would talk about, like, we'd have tutorials every few weeks. Sometimes she would just like open up with something in the news she read or just talk about any issues that are going on. And we'd always have really interesting conversations about those. She loved talking about politics, and that was really interesting to me. So we had a lot of discussions about that. Also, a lot of the professors now, especially because of COVID and quarantine, they're really open just to talking about any issues you have at home. They're super understanding so far. So, like, they're very open to anyone saying, like, oh, yeah, like, I don't have good internet access, or this is really hard for me. And they'll always put aside time to kind of make sure that you have the resources you need, or they're adjusting the course material based on your needs. So they're all very open to talking to students about anything.
So if you don't know how to do something in your classes, what sort of resources do you have that you can go to?
Yeah, so like I said, office hours is super open, so that's easy for any student to go to. They have a lot of like tutor centers. So there's a writing center that I know a lot of friends have gone to, just where they have people who are like grad students can come and volunteer, or upperclassmen students, and they'll help you out with your papers, give you those resources. I think most departments, like I get a lot of emails about econ tutoring that's available, or separate econ office hours. So you can kind of, now it's on Zoom, but things that you can go to and get help from other students who've gone through the course before. And I think a lot of clubs also have opportunities for you to go and get tutoring. So there's a lot of resources.
Cool. And, you know, being such a small, tight-knit classroom and a community in general at USC, how is the campus culture like surrounding academics? Is there a lot of peer pressure or a lot of cutthroat competition? Or maybe even you can compare it to Homestead, if that you find that comparison easier to do.
Yeah, so that was what I was worried about, was just like how competitive college would be. I heard a lot of stories from some of the schools I was also deciding between. I heard a lot of things about competition going on between the students. I really haven't found that at USC. Like I'm like shocked to say that I've never felt competitive in a class. I think if anything, students are helping each other. I've had a lot of like friends want to make study groups and like prep for econ together. People always help with homework if we have questions. I've never found any experience where I felt like people were trying to compete or kind of undermine me or anything like that. Even I have friends who are in pre-med, and that's a super competitive, especially for freshmen. It's like they always try and beat out the freshmen, so I know it's kind of a difficult field to enter, really at any school, I'm sure. But I haven't heard any competitive stories. I think usually I see my friends who are in pre-med, like meeting with other friends and helping each other out. So I think that's a really unique thing to USC is people are really helpful, and I've never really seen any major competition. Usually it's support, which is really cool.
Kind of adding on to that a little bit, do you find that it's easy to make friends in your classes?
Yeah, so I think the biggest way that I know most people make friends is just from residence halls, because I know like the first few months people are all trying to make friends, so everyone's really nice. Living in dorm life is really helpful because there's a lot of activities too on campus. So they had a concert at the beginning of the year. They like hosted a big pool party for us, which was really fun at the aquatic center. They had like a bunch of floaties and stuff. So everyone's just trying to make friends in the beginning, and there's a lot of events to do that. In terms of classes, I think it is pretty easy. It kind of depends on the class. So like in my econ lecture, I didn't really make any friends personally because it's just like 8 a.m. It's a giant lecture hall and people are just tired. But in my smaller classes, in my TO classes, I made some really close friends because it's all about discussion. It's smaller classes. People are really sharing their personal opinions and kind of going off of other people's opinions. And they also have field trips and stuff. So it's very easy to meet people through smaller classes. And I found that especially freshman year, people are really friendly and eager to make friends. So if you just kind of put yourself out there, I'm sure this is true at most schools, but if you just put yourself out there in a smaller class, like it's definitely easy to make friends. People have all been really nice, which has been great.
For sure.
And I wanted to get into a little bit about class structure. So like for your average class, how does it work? Is there a lot of busy work, and like how much of your grade is midterms and final exams, and how much of your grade is participation or activities? What's the grade breakdown?
Okay, so I think it is kind of hard to, I'm going to try and generalize. I don't know how because like my lecture hall is going to be different from my TO classes. But I would say in general, there's usually 2 midterms, I think is the average. Usually they're around 10 to 15% of your grade. Finals are usually, I don't know if I'm saying this right, like a little heavier, like 20 to 30-ish.
Yeah.
Usually some classes have participation. Usually if it's a big lecture, they don't because it's hard to really regulate that. Some of them, they give you for participation. Some of them just like if you go to discussion section, your attendance is usually counted towards participation. I haven't found a lot of busy work. A lot of times there are readings, but usually they're helpful because you have homework on them or it comes up in discussion. So usually, like especially compared to high school, I feel like I have a lot less busy work. It's usually like just time goes into studying, or sometimes we have problem sets, and usually that counts for a certain maybe like 10 to 15% of your grade. I don't know if that added up, but it's usually around that percentage breakdown. So like midterms are a little bit more than problem sets, finals are a little bit more, and then sometimes there's like attendance or participation, which can come into that. Homework kind of goes into that, but it seems pretty fair so far. It's all pretty doable, and like with the resources that we have, I've gotten a lot of help. So usually grades work pretty well and they seem fair.
Do you feel that Homestead has prepared you for academic success at USC?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think a big part of Homestead was learning to balance everything, especially as APs came along. I was just kind of like trying to figure out how to manage my time. And I think a big thing that kind of shocked me about coming to USC and just college in general, this will probably be true anywhere, but because you don't have, like I used to have a day that would go until 3 o'clock was class, or 3:50 because I'd block some years. And then I would have some sort of activity after school, whether it was club stuff, any sport activities, whatever it might be for the student. And then I would go home and do all of my work, and that was just my day. And because I had a little bit of a break. But in college, like because schedules are just kind of everywhere, like I have a lot of blocks during the day, I have more time where I feel like you can do work, and as long as you prioritize that time, that's definitely like I've been able to accomplish and finish everything I need to. So I think like going to Homestead definitely prepared me, like the rigor and the need to kind of figure out my time with other activities, made it almost easier to go to college and have that little extra time throughout the day where I can really use my time.
Cool. And I have one more question. In terms of the grading scale, is it like for each class 90 to 100 is an A and 80 to 90 is a B, or is there a curve? How does the percentage work?
Yeah, so my classes so far, so we have like minus and plus grading. So like 93 to 100 is an A, 19 to 92 is an A minus. kind of that scale for B plus A minus. I know some courses are different. It depends on the professor or the intensity of the course. So I know some harder classes will make it a curve. So it goes through the 80s and up is like B minus, and then some of them are easier to do well. So maybe I've heard one of my friends was mad about this. It was like they had one course where I think like a 94, 95 to 100 was an A, and like a 92 to 90, I'm saying it wrong, but they basically made it a little bit harder, but it was a very easy course, so they ended up being fine. But I feel like I haven't experienced any unfair situations with the grading scale. It usually makes sense with the course.
Can you tell us a bit more about like academic advising? Because I know that at some schools, you kind of get paired with a specific person that kind of walks you through like your course plan and everything.
Yeah, so each freshman coming in, you either have undeclared or you declare a major, and based on that, you get assigned to a certain counselor. And so you have a meeting with them. You meet them during course registration before you even, like when you have orientation. I forgot what that's called. I guess it is orientation. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like meet them for the first time, and they help you kind of walk through course registration the first time. They give you like a mock plan of what your first year classes should be based on your major, and that's kind of who you're partnered with. So for the econ department, it's based on last name. Like they split it up between econ majors because there's so many of us. So there's one person who's like G through K or something, and he's mine. His name's Juan. He's really cool. But basically, I have to meet with him before each registration for next year. So I just had my course registration yesterday. So I met with him a few days before, and he like just kind of walked me through, heard what my plan was, gave me advice based on any minors I want to take, going abroad, any of that. And then he tells me, like, you can change this, but this is probably the courses you should be taking if you want to stay on this path. And just kind of gives you advice before your registration. So that's mandatory, and then he'll waive you so you can register for your classes. And then you also get advising for minors. So I have a computer programming minor advisor too. So I just reach out to her if I have any questions with credits that I need, or like how my course plan will work throughout, so I can graduate at the good time. And then also have a TO advisor for the program I'm in. So it's pretty easy. You can also, like, it's very easy to minor or meet with advisors from different schools too. So like because I'm minoring in computer programming, that's the engineering school. So I just like reached out to her when I was interested, and she basically set up the minor for me. So it's very easy to get in contact with advisors. Then you have the one major advisor who has like a mandatory meeting with you each semester, and that helped me out well.
Can you double major across different schools?
Yes, it's really easy to double major, double minor. It's very common, I'd say. So I know I have a few friends who are double majoring. I know a lot of people who are double, even some people triple minor. I think that's pretty hard to do. Might be hard to go abroad, but it's doable. They're very easy about, like, you don't have to reapply. So it's really nice to do. It's pretty easy.
Is getting your classes ever a problem? I imagine not at a smaller school, but is it, or?
Yeah, it's not much of a problem. Like sometimes if it's a GE and it's a pretty popular one, like it might fill up. Basically how it works is you have your register time for course registration is based on how many credits you have. So if you come in with a lot of AP credits, you'll probably have a little bit of an earlier time than other people. And same if you take 18 units versus 16, which is the normal amount, 18 is the maximum. So you get a time based on that. I haven't had any issues getting my courses yet. Usually I get every one. Like yesterday, it was pretty smooth. I got all the ones that I was hoping to get. Yeah, I mean, if it's a major course and you can't get it and it doesn't work in your schedule, you can contact your advisor and she'll get that set up for you. So I think if it's a major one or you need it for your minor, like you're fine, you're gonna get it. Or you can email the professor. They'll usually make room in your class. Even if it is the GE and you really want it, you can probably email the professor and they'll probably make room for you. So it's not really an issue.
Are there upperclassmen mentors for course selection? Because I know that at some schools, like the advisor doesn't know what a course is like. You sometimes need to talk to an upperclassman who has been in the class.
I'm not sure actually. So usually I talk to, I'm sure they have some sort of programs like that because departments have different like mentorship and tutoring programs. So I'm sure there's a way to talk to people about that. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people post in like the USC class page and just like ask, hey, do you have any good recommendations for like this GE? So that's one way that you can definitely do it. I don't know if there are personally any like specific programs. That'd be pretty cool though, if they did.
All right. So the next section, actually, you already started mentioning something about it, which is study abroad opportunities. Is that something you're looking into doing in the future?
Yeah, so I I definitely wanted to study abroad my junior year. I was thinking second semester. Most people go then because football season's first semester, and that's always really fun. So people don't want to leave campus then. But I was definitely considering somewhere in Europe. I got through the French requirements, so I was considering doing something in France. There are a lot of opportunities with study abroad. A lot of programs, different schools have different requirements. So usually Dornsife, which is my school, the Letters of Arts and Sciences, it's kind of the biggest school. They have usually a language requirement, but if you want to go somewhere in London, the UK, there's no language requirement. So it kind of depends on where you want to go. But because of this, I kind of want to see how courses go, because honestly, I don't want to leave USC for that long, and just the fact that I'm home now is really sad. And in case classes do get canceled next semester, I'll probably want to be on USC campus as much as possible, so I might not want to leave for a full semester. But there's also another opportunity, which is Maymesters that USC has. So it's basically going abroad for the month of May. So when you get out of classes, you have a month abroad afterwards, after school's over. And so they go to a bunch of different places. I know someone who's gonna do research in Antarctica, but it got canceled. But they have really cool research opportunities in different countries. So I'm thinking if classes do get canceled next semester, I might want to be at USC as much as possible and do a Maymester instead, so I don't miss out on a whole semester. So now we'll kind of see how everything plays out.
Yeah, for sure. So that kind of piggybacking off your response, the next question is about research opportunities. So you were talking about the Maymester, and it seems like it's relatively easy to get involved in a research position that you like. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. So professors, like I said, are love talking about their subjects, love discussing any research with you. So I think it's very easy just to reach out to a professor in your field, make a connection with them, kind of talk about something that you're interested in, and kind of find those research opportunities through that. There's also, I get departmental emails from the econ department just about different opportunities they have. So one of them is a research opportunity this summer that I just got an email about that they want, they're looking for some students to help out with it. So they'll usually send you updates, or like I said, if you speak to the professors, there's also a platform I'll talk about a little bit later, but it's called Connect SC, and it's almost like a LinkedIn for USC students. So usually you can find information for research opportunities and internship opportunities on that platform too. So that's really helpful as well.
And kind of going back to study abroad, is it popular to study abroad?
Yeah, I think a lot of people study. I mean, it's you can do either way. So you're not going to be left out no matter what. It's a big population, so some people just have different preferences. Like I said, a lot of people do choose to do the Maymester. My friend even originally said that she didn't want to leave for a whole semester, so she'll just want to do the Maymester instead. I personally wanted to study abroad just because it is an important college experience, I think. But it's popular either way, and usually it's second semester. So.
In terms of internships, I'm not sure if at this stage you're looking for an internship, but do you know if there are internship resources available? You mentioned a Connect SC, a LinkedIn for USC students. So if you can talk about that a little more, and is there an industry day or career center? How does the internship recruiting process look like? Yeah,
so there are a few different platforms. So we do have career days either once, I want to say twice a semester, definitely once a semester, but it's the whole kind of main Truesdale quad is what we call it, but it's the big quad in the center of USC. And it's all, there's our booths just everywhere. Everyone's in suits, and everyone dresses business professional, has their resumes, and kind of goes and just tries to network with different people who are looking to hire students for internships or jobs even after they graduate if they're a senior or junior. So that's definitely a really helpful resource. Connect SC, the platform I was talking about, is super helpful. So it's a lot of people who are just looking to hire USC students. And because the Trojan family is it's really a strong network. So there's a lot of people who are just who are alums, and you can just reach out to them and say hey, can I ask you a few questions about your company, about what you do? And they'll almost always yeah, I'd love to talk to a USC student, and just kind of you can talk to them. And then I know a lot of people who found internships just through that. Also, a lot of clubs have different opportunities. So I'm involved in a marketing consulting club, and so we have different professional workshops where people come in with their companies and kind of either just talk to us about what they do in marketing, or sometimes they'll come for networking events where you can just speak to them, look for internships through that. And there are a lot of consulting clubs on campus, or just other business clubs. And also just departments have their own kind of career fairs. So they have econ career fairs where you can go as an econ student and talk to them. I'm sure Marshall, which is the business school, has a lot of those. I know they have one specific to engineering students, so the Viterbi School, or just a lot of different events like that where you can meet people.
Have you been able to talk to a lot of alumni?
Yeah, so I've talked to a lot. So through my club, we've had a lot of speakers come in, so I've gotten to talk to them, ask them questions about their experiences kind of coming from USC and going there. Yeah, different like career days and econ events I've gone to, so I've gotten to speak to some people. It's just a lot of, like I said, the Trojan family is really strong, so people are always willing to reach out to another Trojan student, something that I found really cool about USC.
Would you describe there being kind of a like strong business-oriented community at USC?
This is, well, okay, so USC, something that I think is really cool about it is there are a lot of very strong departments and schools. So like our business school is really successful. It's very strong, but there's also the engineering school is amazing. The film school is amazing. Public policy, journalism's huge. So there are a lot of really strong communities. And because it's a bigger private school, I feel like you can meet a lot of people who are really successful in their fields. So especially for clubs and projects, like I mentioned, I'm in a marketing consulting club, so there's a lot of business students. So they're super accomplished. It's really interesting to hear their stories. But there's also like engineering students in my club and like other journalism students, people from all over. And because of that, you get a lot of people with different experiences, different skill sets, and you can really learn from that. So I've learned a lot of business things from my friends who are in Marshall. I've learned about design from people who are really interested in that, and that's kind of their specialty. And I know there are a lot of music students who I've met who have like had their own songs put on Spotify and work with other music industry majors and business majors and even film school majors to make like music videos and just different people from all over because there are a lot of different strong departments. But I would say like, yes, if you're interested in business, the business school is really definitely a big thing at USC.
All right, next section is, I think, probably more fun, less dry. It's about your personal life at USC. So let's start with, what does a typical weekday look like for you? So start like when you wake up and when you go to sleep.
Okay, so I got kind of unlucky this like the last 2 semesters with 8 a.m.s and 8:30s. So first semester I had an 8 a.m. twice a week. It was for my econ class because there's this one professor who I wanted, but that semester he chose to only teach at that time, so I had to wake up pretty early. I'd wake up like 7. Everything on campus, so there's a lot of people on campus, but it's a really small campus, so that I'll probably talk about later. But you feel it's like a very close community. So everything's also in walking distance, which is super nice. So most of my classes are like a 5-minute walk from where most freshman dorms are. So that was really helpful. So I'd wake up around 7. It'd take me a while to like actually wake up because I'm lazy, so I'd like lay in bed for a while. Then I will get ready. My dorm was pretty nice. I really liked it. So I would just get ready, go downstairs, walk to class. I would usually have a few classes in the morning. Actually, first semester I got lucky, so all of my classes were done by like 12 every day because I'd have a few classes in a row and be done. And then I study outside a lot. Weather is amazing at USC. LA weather is beautiful. So usually I would study outside. There's a lot of people who work just on the grass. People just like put out a blanket, bring their speaker, and do work there. A lot of people get hammocks. I never got one, but there's just like one area outside the freshman dorms where people have like hammocks and they're swinging from trees, and it's really cute. There's a few libraries nearby the freshman dorms. So there's one where there's like a little outside space to work. So I go there sometimes. There's also a little cafe near the other library. Sometimes I'll work out there, do some homework. There's Starbucks people go to. Usually my friends will come and meet me and we just like do work outside somewhere. Let's see. Oh, there's a gym on campus, so I'll go to the gym some days. It's in the Village, which is like a 5-minute walk from freshman dorms. Some freshman dorms are in the Village. It's like the really nice new place on USC, so I love that area. They have a really nice gym there. It's huge, so I go there sometimes. I will go to the dining halls. Dining halls are pretty good. I know there's some questions later about that, but they're pretty good. So sometimes I'll go to the dining halls for lunch or dinner with my friends. Freshmen get unlimited swipes, so we'll usually eat there every day. If it's a weekday, we'll usually hang out in our dorms for a while. Where I lived, which I know is also a later question, but everyone's like really friendly. So it's like kind of known as a friendly dorm. It's like 8 floors of open doors. Like everyone's super social. So usually we'll just hang out with everyone on their floor for a while, make snacks, do work depending on course load, and then go to sleep.
Cool. What is like social life like? Can kind of goes with this question. What do you do for fun?
Yeah, so social life is pretty big at USC. It all depends where you find yourself. Like I said, it's a pretty, like there's 20,000 undergrads, which is pretty big for a private school. There's pretty much a crowd for everyone, which is really neat. So if you want to be really involved in the party scene, like I ended up joining Greek life, which I didn't think I'd do, but I'll probably talk more about that later. I really enjoyed it. So if you want to find a party scene, want to go to a frat party, like you can. If you don't, there's a lot of different clubs, have different events. There are a lot of organizations that are in the kind of like Greek alternatives. Some were just like clubs. Some people like don't go out, they check out with their friends, and that's totally fine too. There's a place for everyone. So it's not like this overwhelming party scene, but if you want to find it, you can. Let's see. Oh, in terms of like party life, you don't have to be in a sorority to go to them or in a frat. It's easier for girls to get in, but if guys have friends in the frat, they just know, which it's, yeah. There are a lot of events that USC puts on, just like field like trips to Santa Monica. So there's a metro like right off USC campus, and like you just cross the street, and it takes you right to Santa Monica. So a lot of people do that on the weekends. I've gone with my friends a few times because most freshmen don't have cars, so it's really convenient. Just a nice way to like spend your Saturday or Sunday. Game days, like I mentioned, are huge, so that's like, a really fun time. Like the whole campus just turns red and gold. There are just tents everywhere. A bunch of alums have tailgates going on. The entire campus, it's crazy. Like they even put up these big like tents everywhere and these little like ribbons that are red and gold around the whole campus. So usually those make Saturdays really fun. Game days are huge. Most freshmen get discounted season passes, so that was a good time. I got one of those. Yeah, I think those are some of the big things, and then just little day trips. Downtown LA is pretty close by. Oh, also, this kind of goes into safety, which I know we're also talking about later, but USC has a thrift program, which is basically free lifts. So after 7 o'clock until I think 2 or 3 a.m. every night, you get free lifts around a 2-mile radius for you and a friend or just yourself. So people take advantage of that, go to dinner at 7 p.m. and then you can like go to downtown LA for free. It's really nice. So they have that too. Oh, also a lot of museums nearby. So I know a lot of people like go to the, what's the modern art museum? I forgot, the one in LA. The LACMA.
Was it a typical transition for you socially from high school to college?
So it was pretty smooth. So I like became best friends on campus with my roommate, which was really lucky. We like met from like people were posting Facebook stuff. She reached out to me. And so we ended up getting along really well, but I know that's like a lucky thing. So that definitely made it easier, but also just dorm life is really nice. So people are all trying to make friends from the start. I recommend living in a dorm instead of a suite style. Well, personally, but I know people who lived in suites and became really close with their suite mates. So that really helped. And they have, so like I said, they have Welcome Week, which is like right before you start, where they have a bunch of things that everyone can sign up for. So they have that, like the big pool party. They have the Santa Monica trip that like everyone can go to. You like go with people in your residence hall, and like the RAs take you to Santa Monica on the metro, and you just get to meet everyone through that. They have like a concert, a lot of events, just to like meet people within the dorms. So I think that made it really easy to transition. I ended all, so she's one of my close friends now. People on our floor were really close, so everyone kind of was like talking to each other, and we all became friends pretty easily. Because like I said, like everyone's just trying to meet each other. This is true at any college. It's like you come in as a freshman and you're kind of nervous, and then everyone's in the same boat. So there's usually a lot of events to meet people, and that made it really easy.
All right, so next section. You already kind of were talking about this, but this is about residence life and dorms. Yeah. So we'll start with, what are the dorms like? What are the different styles? How do like laundry, restroom, kitchen stuff work? So yeah, take us away into dorm life.
Okay, so I lived in Bergkrant, which was one of the dorms in the area of the freshman dorms. Personally, it's my favorite. I know it's a good one, so we got lucky with that. So basically all freshman dorms in general are doubles. I think there are a few triples on some floors and a few singles on some floors. But if you want a double, you'll get a double. That's what most people have. You can do random with roommates. You can do find them ahead of time, choose a friend, or find someone on Facebook, which is what I did. So we had like a one bathroom. So our floors are pretty small, so some of the different dorms are different, but ours would have one communal bathroom that everyone shared. It didn't get that bad. It wasn't great, but like I mean, it's kind of like a bonding experience. You just meet people in the bathroom, like brushing your teeth, and like you make friends through that. Our whole floor knew each other pretty quickly because, like I said, it is small. There's a few showers that never really became an issue though, like because it was smaller. There's always enough showers. I wasn't really waiting ever. Same with the washer and dryer. There's like one for each floor, but it was smaller floors. Maybe like I think it's about 40 people on our floor. But like there usually weren't many issues. There's so many times to do laundry. I know so if you're in the honors dorm, which is McCarthy, it's in the Village, they have a lot of washers and dryers, and you have your own bathroom in your dorm because it's kind of like doubles in one communal area and a bathroom. So that's different. Personally, I liked having it so we shared everything, so you just kind of meet people through that. It like brings you closer with everyone, and you have like a reason to leave your dorm room. So I found that kind of helped. But I know a lot of the dorms in McCarthy Quad, which is where mine was, where like most freshmen are, they're kind of the same style as mine. So they have like doubles. New North is another dorm that's pretty popular. It's like a very social dorm, but it's more of like the party dorm. Kind of that stereotype. Like I have friends who like didn't but still live there, so it's fine. It's not as nice as Berncrant, but it's kind of chaotic. There's the other dorms that are pretty good. I know Party, like PARDEE, is like another dorm. Not the party one, that's New North, but they're also pretty social. That's like another popular, mostly doubles one. I will say the one that you probably don't want is Trojan Hall. That's like not as nice. But like
the one named after the mascot?
Yeah. Actually, no, not our mascot. Traveler is the mascot. But
Oh, okay.
no, Trojan Hall. It's a little bit further, and it's just not as nice. But I've heard that everyone there is really close because you kind of bond over that. I don't know. I feel like if you live in dorms, like they're not going to be as nice, but like you have fun. Like you meet a lot of people from it. I also have friends who lived in suites. So Parkside is one of probably the nicest place to live, but it's also the furthest from everything. So it's kind of isolated and it's like suite style. So if you don't really care about the like social dorm life, then that's a nice option to live in. But like one of my close friends lived in it, and I went to her room once. Like she always came to us because it's also just like where everything is. So it didn't really make sense to like walk all the way over there. And we're lazy, and she was friends with me and my roommate, so it just made more sense for people to come to our room. And then floor is also, if you want suite style, I'd recommend floor. It's closer to the Village, closer to everything, and it's still pretty nice. But yeah.
Do most students live on the dorms? So like I'm assuming all freshmen live on dorms, but as you become a sophomore or an upperclassman, do students tend to move off into off-campus apartments, or is everyone kind of in the dorm?
Yeah, so you're guaranteed housing for like on-campus housing for freshman sophomore year. So what a lot of people do is live in freshman dorms. Their freshman year is what I did, and then a lot of people try to get Village next year because there's a lot of sophomore dorms in the Village. So I'm going to be living in the Village next year, which is nice. It's where the Trader Joe's Target is, gym. It's super convenient. It's like our little version of a college town. So that's a popular place. A lot of juniors live. There's like these apartments that are basically on campus, but they're technically off campus. So a lot of people live in those. They're like just right outside. There are a lot of like apartment areas that are technically off campus. So, but like not in they still feel like you're in the bubble of USC. So I know a lot of juniors live there. A lot of seniors get houses with their like big groups of friends. There's like this one street where a lot of seniors live. And it's all pretty close to campus because the campus is pretty small. So yeah, it usually works out pretty well. I haven't heard any issues when you become a junior or senior about finding housing.
For the dining halls, you already, again, kind of talked about it, but this is your chance to go in depth. So, the stereotype is that college dorm food is not really the best. How is it at USC? Okay,
so basically how it works is there are 3 dining halls. So there's EVK, which is everybody's kitchen. That's the one that was right next to my dorm, like right next to most freshman dorms. There's controversy because I think it's really good. Some people don't like it as much. Most people say it's worse. But I think it's pretty good. It depends on the day though. Everything's hit or miss. So there's they have like there's usually like 2 lines. You can go left, and they have just like a section where you can like serve yourself. They have usually some sort of potato, rice, pasta, something, vegetables. They always have pizza, which I always think is good. They have like different themes. So it depends on the day. They have a soft serve machine, which is really good. They have little cones like soft serve and toppings, and I love it. Also, like some sort of cookie or dessert. They have a salad bar, sandwich bar, and then there's another line if you go right, and that's the bar that changes every day. So they have this giant hot plate, it's like the size of a big table, and they have chefs who there's a different thing that they make each day, but they have chefs and they like come to you and you tell them what you want. So they like choose things for you, like toppings, and they make it like in front of you. And so that one could be really good. That's usually the best part of EVK. So like they have quesadilla bars, which is like the best day. So they make these like really good quesadillas. They have like steak bars Sunday. Those are pretty good. Pasta bars are really good. They make pad thai, but it's not real pad thai. It's not great. It just depends on the day. They have like rice bars and stuff, like fried rice bars, which are pretty good. So it like depends. Most people, their favorite one is Parkside. So that's near the furthest dorm. The sweet style one that I was talking about. That's really nice. That's probably the best dining hall, but it's also the furthest dining hall. It's like a 10-15 minute walk. So I'm lazy, so I just go to the one like right next to my dorm. But that one's probably the best one. So if you like want to walk to a good place, that's where to go. And then McCarthy's the other one. It's in the Village, so it's near the honors dorm. That's the biggest one. So they have like different bars you can go to, like a huge, like they have like a panini press thing, so you can make really good sandwiches there. They have a really big salad bar, so they just have the most options. So a lot of people like that one the best. I personally like EVK because I feel loyal to it, and some of the days are really good. But I don't know. Oh, they also have a crepe bar in McCarthy, which is the honors one. So they have like a little crepe bar every day, and you can like make crepes, or they make crepes for you. It's really cute. So people like that a lot.
So you can go to any of the dining halls if you're willing to walk.
Yeah, so all freshmen have unlimited swipes, which is super nice. So you can go to any of them. Even if you like skin, just get a banana or like coffee or something, you can go there. There's also an option to have dining dollars, which I didn't get my first 2 semesters, but I actually recommend it. Some of my friends had it. It was really nice. I think it's like you pay $300 to get $500 worth of dining points, and you can use those at any Starbucks. They have a lemonade on campus. They have a Panda Express. California Pizza Kitchen, Habit Burgers, and you can use those there. So it's really nice. They have a really good acai place called C&G, which is like kind of hidden, but it's really good. So me and my friends go there sometimes, and you can use it there. So I actually would recommend dining dollars, I think, but you don't need them. But it's a nice option if you want more than just dining food if you get tired of it. Or there's like another plan that's more expensive and you don't want to get that because it's a waste.
So now we're going to move on to campus culture and the surrounding area.
Okay.
Where do students tend to hang out on and off campus?
On campus, there are a lot of, since the weather's so nice, a lot of people find different outdoor places. I kind of mentioned that place, the hammocks, people go there a lot, or there's just a huge quad, like right outside most of the freshman dorms where people just like put blankets out, do work outside. The Doheny Library, it's like a 2-minute walk from the freshman dorms. It's like the nice kind of Hogwarts style one, so it's really cute. There's also a library, it's called Levy Library. It's right outside of my dorms, like right across the quad. It's not as nice. It's like modern, but it's kind of concretey, so people don't go inside that much, but they have a nice outdoor space where you can do work, which I really like to do. There's a rooftop on like Mud Hall, which is one of our halls, and you can go and you see the whole LA like city line. It's gorgeous. So people will sneak up there for sunset sometimes. It's really fun. One of the gyms, Lion, is really nice, and they have this like that's where they have the giant aquatic center. You can go on the roof and like they have a bunch of like sunbathing chairs, so a lot of people go out there a lot and do work if you want sun when it's warm outside. What else? Off campus, people go to Santa Monica a lot. It's kind of the big place because of the metro. Downtown LA is really nice. So people go around, or it's not really nice, but they have some nice restaurants. There's like a field off campus, so sometimes we just like Uber there and do our work there to get off campus. I think those are the main places. LACMA is pretty popular.
How would you describe the campus atmosphere? Because, I feel like each school has its own kind of character or energy. How is USC's?
I think it's like a very happy energy, like because it's so warm almost the whole year. Like even in the winter, it was like in the 80s. It was crazy. Like January, February, we're like in the 80s for a while. So it's like a very happy, like I just walk to classes and I feel happy. Like it's so nice. I love it. Everyone's super friendly. I was like, there are stereotypes about USC, like being spoiled or being like, I'll probably talk about that later, but I was worried about that when I came in. But everyone I've met is super chill, super friendly. It's not really competitive at all, so I feel like everyone's just kind of like trying to help each other, go study in the sun, There's it's like a very tight community because of our spirit, and like game days make you really close to the different people. So that definitely makes it feel very friendly. Like on game days especially, I just like walk through campus and like there's a bunch of alums and all of their like red and gold saying fight on, and it's really cute. I think it's a really nice campus vibe. I love the community.
Would you describe the campus as busy all the time?
Yeah, it's like pretty busy. It's very alive. It feels alive when you walk through it. It's not like crowded because it is a pretty big campus, but there are always people skating. A lot of people skateboard or bike around campus because it's very flat, and it's like nice brick, so there's not like a bunch of ridges to trip on. So a lot of people skateboard or bike around. There are usually some people talking about different clubs or organizations. Sometimes they have like little booths where they sell things. There's like a frat that was selling hand sanitizer right before we got shut down, so that was going on. It was pretty funny. Yeah, they always have like it's pretty lively, but it's a very friendly campus. People seem happy. It's nice.
Cool. In terms of off campus, you kind of mentioned that there is the Santa Monica Metro that you can spend a day there. But you also mentioned LA downtown, and how does that look like? Are there movie theaters or good restaurants and cafes, things like that in LA downtown?
Yeah, so I don't know about movie theaters. I like didn't go off campus that much because we were just trying to save money, so we usually eat in the dining halls in terms of restaurants. I have some friends who went off campus a lot more and went to restaurants like in downtown. Because of thrifting, you can take advantage of that. It's free to get there. Like right off campus, the area is like not very nice, but you don't really need to go there at all. So I've never really I've never really gone in that area off campus. It never really became an issue. There's like one little strip that's just like, it's pretty close off campus. Again, it's free to get there. It's within the 2-mile radius. And they have really like popular restaurants. There's this place, Bakari West Adams, where a lot of people go to. It's kind of like cheap tapas you can share with all your friends. That's a pretty common place to go for restaurants. They have like little cafes there and stuff that I know a lot of people go to more often than I do if they want to do work off campus or just hang out with their friends somewhere. So I know that's pretty popular. Downtown LA, it's not a super nice downtown just because it's really crowded. It's more like San Francisco-y, like chaotic. But they have like a lot of restaurants that people go to and really enjoy. And they have brunch places that I know some people have gone to. So I know there are people who take more advantage of that than I do. But I'll probably start going next year and bringing my car, I think. So.
Oh, nice. So you already kind of talked about it, but safety. I think a huge thing about USC, at least for high school students, is like everyone hears that, oh, UCLA is in the good part of LA and USC is in the bad part of LA. So yeah. Do you feel like it's safe? Like we've done interviews where some people have said that they have to carry pepper spray when they go off campus just to feel safe. So how is that at USC?
Yeah, that was something I was really concerned, especially my parents were really concerned about when I was considering USC. You do hear that like the area is not great right outside of USC. I personally have never felt unsafe walking off campus because so the way the campus works is kind of hard to describe, but if like this is the campus. So like there's like only one side that's like the pretty bad area, like over here. But like this side of the campus where like that area is, first of all, it's all gated. So like all of USC, like the gates close after I think 8 p.m. when it starts to get dark, whenever that is. There's security guards outside. They check your ID just to get on campus. So people can't get on campus when it's dark if they're not USC students. Also, like that side of campus with the bad area is only like classrooms. It's not really where people live. You kind of live on the opposite side. And you live near like the village, and it's also all gated on like everywhere around campus. So you always feel safe. Also, because USC does have that kind of like reputation, or just people know that it's not a great area outside, they go above and beyond on security measures. Like I've never felt unsafe. There are always like people checking you in to get inside. There are these people called yellow jackets. So they wear like these yellow like puffy jackets. So they're really easy to see, like these neon ones. And they're pretty much anywhere you walk, off campus or on campus, you can always see one. And they're like part of USC security. So they're everywhere. So you never feel unsafe and like nothing really can happen. There's also 24-hour security guards in every dorm, just like when you check in, and you have to fingerprint, like scan in to get up, and you have to only take 2 guests. So like that's 24/7. So I've never felt unsafe in my dorm at all. Like they're super on top of all of that. What else? They have security. I remember they told us this like right before during orientation. They have security cameras everywhere. So every car that drives on campus or like immediately off campus, they have the license plate of that car. So like it's impossible to get on and like not be seen. It's crazy.
Wow.
They're so extra about it, but I mean it's good. It made my parents feel a lot safer too. Like I've never felt unsafe off campus. They also have DPS, which is like our campus security, and because of Frift's you never have to walk off campus. They also have bird scooters everywhere, so those are kind of fun if you don't want to walk by yourself, just like to bird somewhere else. Yeah, they do a really good job with security, so I've never felt unsafe.
Can you
In terms of, go for it.
This format is so tough.
I know.
Tough format. No, you go, Niraj.
Are you sure? I don't want to interrupt you. All right, I'll go. Greek life. You mentioned that you weren't thinking about it initially, but you ended up joining Greek life. So why, like, what was that shift like? And is Greek life at USC really popular or overwhelming?
Yeah, so it's not. It's like very much you can be in it, you cannot be in it. Like you don't have to be in Greek life. It's like something. It was a really nice choice for me to have. So it's second semester. First of all, is like when rush happens. So I had all the first semester to kind of establish, like, find my friends, find my place on campus, join clubs. And I already felt, like, very secure. Like, I love my friend group. I have, like, a lot of people who I can go to. So I, like, didn't feel like I needed to join a sorority to find friends, which was really nice. So I just kind of got in that place where I was really comfortable on campus. I also joined some clubs where I met a lot of upperclassmen who are in Greek life. And I heard their experiences. And like, yeah, like, it's what you put into it. It's, like, really, it's a fun way to meet a lot of people you wouldn't have met. It's good networking. It's we have, like, these events that you can go to, which once you join are free. It's, like, free dining hall basically in the house that you can have, which was really nice. They have, like, chefs and stuff. It's really extra. But it's just, like, a cute kind of community. So I like, love the people. I was worried about the stereotype of being in a sorority because I was like, I don't know if that's for me. But then I just like, okay, I'll try rushing and see what it's like. And then I met a lot of girls who I had really genuine conversations with, who did really cool academic things on campus and were part of some really cool organizations. And I was like, oh, like, I really like this house. Like, these people are really genuine people. So I ended up joining. It's definitely not something you need to be in though. Like, half of our friend group is in Greek life, half of them aren't. Like, you can go to any party you want to. They're not, like, you don't have to be in Greek life to do it. It's just, like, extra, like, opportunities to meet people and have different events and stuff if you're in it. But I've never, like, my friends who aren't in it don't really feel left out at all. It just wasn't what they wanted to do. But I think it is super fun if you do want to join. Yeah, it's like not overwhelming. I think it's like 20% of the campus is in Greek life. So there's a lot of people who aren't, a lot of other communities and ways to be involved. They have, like, if you're a guy, they have the Knights. So I have some friends who are in the Knights, which is like a frat that's more, it's like not an official frat, but it's kind of like a frat, but they're more focused on, like, community outreach, and they're less stereotypically fraternity. So I know, like, they're a cool organization. There's a lot of clubs on campus that are, like, still have that community and this, like, different retreats and socials and stuff without being a frat. So you definitely don't have to do it, but I have a lot of fun in it. So I'm glad that I did.
On a Friday night, if you don't want to party, what are some other things you can do for fun?
They have, okay, well, I know a common thing that a lot of people do is they go sake bombing. It's really big off campus.
They go what?
It's like a Japanese drinking game. You, like, go to Koreatown and you, like, it's when you have the like glass over the cup and put, like, on chopsticks, like, people hit the table. You, like, do a chant, you hit the table, and then
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've never heard.
off campus. It's pretty fun. But I know a lot of people do that. They have a lot of different, like, events on campus. They have, I know the film school puts on a lot of film productions, so they have these what are they called? They have these different, like, screenings where some professors choose their like, from the film school, choose their favorite films and, like, have a whole production. You can just go to the film school, watch on the big theaters. A lot of people do that. They have, what's the other thing? They have they have a lot of concerts. So the Thornton Music School at USC is huge. So they put on a lot of, like, their own concerts on campus with some of the students who are extremely talented. Go and, like, perform, do open mic. That's really common. Yeah, there are, like, a lot of different just, like, small events put on by clubs, by different departments. They have Visions and Voices, which is a really big program where they have, like, they invite people who are professional, like, stand-up poets. They had one of them at our orientation. Like, I've never heard stand-up poetry or, like, knew what to expect. But then they had this really amazing guy who's like won a bunch of awards come and perform for us, and they have a lot of cool people come and do concerts, performances from a bunch of different fields in the music industry. So that's always really neat to see.
How ethnically diverse is the campus? Are there a lot of like international students? Like how's the diversity?
Yeah, USC is very diverse. I was worried about the stereotype of USC with the reputation it does have in certain departments, but I'm actually really surprised with how diverse it is. It's really nice. Like my classes are extremely diverse. Most of my friends are international students because so my roommate, who I'm really close with, she grew up in California and then Arizona, but then the last 8 years before college, she lived in Malaysia and Shanghai. So she has a lot of friends from Shanghai specifically who ended up coming here eventually too. So she hasn't seen them since middle school, and then they came here and we met a lot of them, and like they're all part of our friend group. So and because the international community is really strong, I think we have one of the largest international communities of all private schools. It's very, very strong. So we met a lot of them from her friends, and then a lot of them are in our group. So I mean, I'm friends with a lot of international kids personally, so I feel like that's a really strong part of our campus. Yeah, I feel like my classes have been very diverse. It depends on the department. My thematic option, my honors program is very diverse, which is cool. I have a lot of international students in my classes, so I really get it because it's interdisciplinary. So there are a lot of people who have different perspectives, and it's really interesting to have those conversations. Yeah, I've been very impressed with the diversity on campus, actually.
So Ashley, earlier you mentioned the marketing club that you're a part of. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so basically it's a consulting club. So there are a lot of consulting clubs on campus. There are a lot of clubs on campus. It's almost overwhelming, but they have a lot of fairs, and they have a whole thing with the whole list of descriptions that you can look through when you join. There really is a club for everyone because there's so many people in different schools on campus. So my club personally, it's a consulting club, and so we're like broken into teams based on ones we can like apply for, basically, or not apply, like you write the thing saying which team you want to be in, which client you want to work with for the semester. So like first semester I worked with Sweetgreen, so we did like a consulting project for them. We got free salads, which is really fun. You like go to their headquarters, meet with a client who's like your contact, and you basically do a project for them based on what they want to work on. A lot of times it's how to reach a certain like demographic or like expand to this market, or how they want to like how they should be positioning their product. A lot of different, there's some really specific things that different clients have wanted, but you basically work with them and you work with your team throughout the semester, and then you have different like presentations or deliverables throughout the semester, and then at the end you have like your final deliverable to your client. So you go and you dress kind of either business casual or business professional depending on the client, and you go and do like your final presentation with your suggestions. You make like a whole so you have your presentation, you learn about PowerPoint a lot and how to like make that really clear for the client what your recommendations are. Then you also make a detailed deck, which is like all of your final recommendations. And you basically just give that to them, present your findings, what you recommend for them. It really depends on, for each client, what you present. And then this past semester, it got kind of cut short because of everything closing down, but we were working with Milani Makeup Cosmetics. So we worked with them for a while, and a lot of the project was helping them expand to places in certain retail stores were like really big because they're really popular coastal, but they wanted to like reach the middle US states. So it kind of depends on the client, but it's really cool. And I know I have a lot of friends at different consulting clubs on campus. Some of them you have to go through a whole application process. So like AIM is more, it's like harder to get into. You have to go through 2 rounds of interviews, 1 round of written. But I know there's like also plenty of clubs where it's very low key. You can just join pretty easily, just depending on what your interests are.
Are there any other clubs that you're a part of?
Yeah, so I'm part of like the Economics Association, which basically just gives you different opportunities within your major. I'm going to be joining this club this semester, this next semester, I guess, which is called WISE. So it's basically where women go to, or different girls on campus go to different elementary schools in the local areas, like less privileged elementary schools, and educate it's middle schools. Educate the middle school girls about different issues in society, and you have like different themes each day, and you just kind of talk to them, make them more familiar with things to be aware of. So it's kind of a mentorship program, so I'm going to join that next semester.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So those are the ones I'm involved in. I also want to do intramural sports. That's very big. So they have like volleyball and soccer teams, so I'll probably join one of those. And there are also like there's one of the really big ones on campus is SEO Outfitters. So it's basically like a hiking club, and they go on these big trips, like I think they have a Grand Canyon trip, like these really big trips that they have each semester, and you can go on a bunch of different hiking trips where it's like a hiking, camping thing where they go somewhere off campus, take buses, fly places, I think. You can join that. There's a lot of clubs. It's pretty cool.
And you mentioned that some clubs are harder to get into than others. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I mean, most consulting clubs are harder to get into just because you have to go through a written application. Then there's usually first round interview, which is like you and some officers just talking about more about yourself. And then there's like the second round, which is like a case study. Usually they're group case study applications. They just want to see how you work problem solving. So that's pretty common for most consulting clubs, I think. I mean, some of them are like a written application, but most people get in. Some of them are harder. Like I know there's one other popular club on campus, like I don't know what their application process is like, but it's Troy Camp, which is a really common one. It's kind of like a mentorship program with elementary schoolers in the area, like an educational kind of program. And then they also have like one big camp week where they kind of take the elementary schoolers to camp and do different activities with them. And I think that one's also kind of a longer application process. And there, like I said, there's some that are pretty much like the hiking club, everyone can get in. There's some that are just for fun, more recreational. So it really depends on which one you're interested in, but there are so many clubs that you're pretty much guaranteed to get into something you like.
All right. Our last kind of section is just like interesting questions and concluding thoughts. So what is your favorite like moment so far at USC? This can be anything, an academic thing, social, anything.
Okay, I have to say our UCLA game day, it was so much fun. So that morning started at 6 a.m. We woke up and like got ready to go to things because it's like a maybe 12 o'clock game. People like got up in our halls at like 6:30. The marching band comes and plays at like 4 a.m. like to wake up around the freshman dorms. I went back to sleep, but like the week leading up to it is Conquest Week, so we have a performance on like a concert on campus. I think Sweetie and Quavo ended up coming out as a surprise guest, so it's like a Ferris wheel. It's super extra. It's amazing. Everyone goes all out. It's like a huge production, a huge game, and it was at USC this year. So I had a lot of friends at UCLA, so they came over and I got to see them at one point. Just the whole campus is covered in students. It's insane. Everything's red and gold. A lot of people are like yelling at UCLA kids. They're yelling at us, like all friendly, but it's really fun. It's a fun rivalry to have. Our band was just playing everywhere that whole week. Like they would just come and do performances for every dorm. It was a huge production. I didn't know how crazy it would be, but it's really fun. And just like at the game itself, it was so much energy in the Coliseum. It was really fun. It was a good day.
And I heard USC won.
We won. Yes, we did. It was really exciting. I had a bet going with my friend, so she had to post a picture in USC clothes on her Instagram and say that she wished she went to USC. It was good.
Nice.
Day for me.
What is like the best thing about USC and what is the worst thing about USC, in your opinion?
Okay, let me think. So many good things. I love it. I think, oh my God, okay, the best thing. I think just the fact, I think like so there are a lot of great things that are obviously just come with college in general. I think the biggest thing that kind of sets USC apart in a positive way is just the fact it's like a big private school. So I feel like but it's on a small campus. So everyone's like, you feel very close to everyone. I feel like I know most people who like live in the freshman dorms at this point, just because it is a small area and there's like so many opportunities to meet people. A lot of overlap. So like I became friends with someone and then I found out he's roommates with someone from my high school, and like everyone just kind of knows each other in a weird way. It's like there's a lot of connections, but there's still a lot of people to meet and a lot of people in different departments you can work with who have different skill sets, as I kind of mentioned. So that's something really unique to USC because they're such a strong business school and all of that. Like there's just a lot of opportunities for you to explore new things and meet new people from like different fields that you wouldn't have met normally. And also just the fact that campus is really small, it feels really close, and there's a really tight-knit community, which is kind of emphasized by the game days, and our basketball team was really good this season. So like going to basketball games was a huge thing too that started becoming a thing at USC. So just having that like large community in a small place where you can still get the attention of a private school but have the experience of a large spirited public school I think that's pretty unique to USC. So I feel like I really got the whole kind of college experience going here. Oh my God, in terms of negative things, yeah, actually.
How about cost? That's like a big thing about USC. So
yeah, definitely. No, that's a good one. Like that is definitely, that was a concern, and like it is something that makes it hard for a lot of students.
What is the most surprising thing about USC?
Okay, let me think. I think I was surprised. I talked about this, like the stereotype of USC, especially because the scandals were coming out right when I was making my decision, and I was like, okay, like USC, and then I heard all these stories come out, and like it did seem like the reputation of USC was a little bit tarnished, especially my year. I didn't think that was true at all. I was kind of expecting to come to USC, or not expecting, but I was, a concern of mine was to come to USC and meet a bunch of people who are more entitled and more spoiled, like the reputation says. But I don't think that was the case at all. Like people in my classes were super down to earth, super not like that stereotype. And I think it almost became like something that we make jokes about. Like we'll talk about a scandal and we'll yell like "fight on," just kind of joke, because like everyone knows that it's wrong, and everyone knows that that's not really what USC is as a campus. Like it's a really academic school where people are very focused on doing well. And like a lot of people, there was a lot of diversity on campus, and there, like most people I met were very like down to earth, very friendly people. So I really didn't see that stereotype much. Maybe like a few people I met, but I think that's true everywhere.
So would you say it's possible to describe a typical student at your school, or is it like, is not like a stereotype?
I think, okay, it's hard to say that because like I said, there's so many different departments. It's not like USC just focuses on one thing. I would say that one thing that kind of brings people together is just I feel like people are very supportive of each other. I think that's a big thing. So like no matter what department you're in, I haven't really heard any, this kind of goes back to the idea that there isn't much competition. So people are very supportive. I think that USC is definitely a campus where people want to get involved. So if you're like you want to find a place in your community, find a way to improve your campus, your community, whatever it may be, there's a lot of ways to get involved at USC. So that's, I think most people I know have a job, have a research opportunity, have like a club that they're really invested in. I think that's one really common thing on campus.
If you had to go back to the beginning of your freshman year at USC, is there anything you would have done differently?
I think I would have become involved in more clubs that are not just, like I'm very involved in my consulting club and I love it, but I wish I like joined an intramural sport. Like that's something I probably will do next semester, but some sort of intramural sport or some sort of like just more low-key way to meet people. I mean, I got lucky again with like the community that I lived in, so I met a lot of people through that, but I feel like also joining like the hiking club or different like more low-key clubs like that would be another fun way to like meet a lot of new students from different parts of campus who I wouldn't have met. So probably join more of those.
Is there anything you want to change about USC?
Let's see. I think so. This also goes back to just like kind of the concerns I had about like what USC is doing for the community, what reputation it has. So Carol Folt, she's like our new president. She basically came in this year. This is her first year. She's the first female president at USC, which is pretty cool. But she just came in this past year, and she's really trying to clean up the campus and just its reputation. So I'm in a climate change class, so we're working with her personally on this project to try and make USC carbon neutral because like there are a lot of issues where like they don't really recycle that much. So I think they don't sort through the trash and recycle in the dorms. Like they get mixed together, and like that's kind of frustrating. Like there are a lot of ways that they could be better with that. So I think just bringing that change and like making USC more sustainable, more like more strict to try to eliminate possible scandals because that is what we're known for in the news. So I think she's doing a good job. She's like really cleaning up USC's reputation and just like trying to fix these issues, which is cool. But I feel like there is still a lot of progress to be made with that.
If you were advising a senior in high school and one of their options was USC, what would you say to them to convince them to come to USC over another school?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think USC really just has a little bit of everything on campus. Like, it has a little aspect of everything I wanted in college. It's a strong community, there's a sports team, there's a rivalry, but there's also really strong academics. You have the resources that you need to succeed in your fields. You have all of these clubs that are available to you that have students from all over that I really don't think you get at that many schools. Just having the combination of academics, a private school, but still a really big, prominent network on campus. Also, just like I mentioned, the Trojan network is really strong. So I've like, if you're looking for internships, looking for jobs, like, you're always going to have that like Trojan family. And it's like one of the highest ranked networks among college campuses because there's such a strong bond in students, and it's really something that you can recognize when you're on campus. Like, people are very much willing to help each other out, to get each other opportunities, to like put you in the right direction for what you want, either with your major, with your career, with any like extracurricular opportunities. There are people to kind of help you out with that. And I think that's something that I didn't necessarily pay as much attention to or like think about as much when I was just looking for a college. I liked just the academics and like what extracurriculars I had, but I didn't realize how important the community was. And I think that USC is like really a perfect combination of everything.
What questions would you ask before choosing a school?
Ooh, okay. I think how I could get involved, that was definitely a concern of mine. How, like, what opportunities I would have. Both of my majors, how easy it would be to minor, because I knew I wanted to be an econ major, but I think I want to go to marketing, or I'm not really sure yet. I wanted to like, have that opportunity to kind of master different fields. And because I was considering something in business, I wanted to know how easy it would be to switch between schools. So that was another reason that USC, I heard a student who told me how easy that was for him. So that made me lean towards USC academically as well. I think I was definitely concerned about how easy it would be to get the courses I wanted and to get like personal attention from counselors and professors. That was a concern for me. Yeah, and then also just like how happy students are, how the quality of life is, how dorms were. I guess it's a lot of questions. It's kind of what I was looking for.
I'm good, Sean.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. It was actually really fun talking with you. And
yeah, I love talking about USC. I'll always.
You gave some good responses.
Thank you.
Also, I have a question. This is like I've heard there's like a squirrel club that Will Ferrell started. Is that like true?
A squirrel club?
Yeah, apparently.
Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. He's actually super involved with USC. Like he made, I don't know if he like made this video that USC reposted and our president reposted, but he like sent a video to her basically talking to us like a few weeks ago saying like, hope you guys are doing good at home. He like had a fake mustache on. He was like saying all these weird things. And then he was like, I promise that on the first day when you guys all get back on campus, I'll make surprise visits into each class. And like,
I heard about that.
Honestly, like he's super involved. There's also, that's like another fun thing because USC is so close to like LA. You get a lot of famous appearances. So I know like Bradley Stephen Perry, who plays Gabe on like Charlie Goes USC. It's like I've met him a few times. He's pretty cool. Just like funny like little like LA thing. What's the guy's name? Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
No, he like just came. He like did an appearance in one of the Zoom classes. Steph Curry did an appearance in a Zoom class the other day.
Whoa.
There's some pretty cool contacts like that. It's just like a fun little bonus. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I'm sure there is a club like that. It's funny.
Cool. I mean, that's all I have. But yeah, thank you so much, honestly.
Yeah, Ashley.
All right, see you guys.
See you, Ashley.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the interview, make sure to go down and give this video a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see another interview with a specific college, make sure to let us know in the comments. For now, Sean and I will see you guys next time.